what wasn't mentioned by Elon was that the intelligence agency signed off on this letter, which was then weaponized by people in the media who willfully lie to manipulate. This is once again a very similar story of election interference from intelligence agencies, Democrats, and the media. There is no country unless these people are criminally charged, arrested, and removed from polite society because they are criminals who engage in criminal activity.
But have you considered that it's just an accident and they're sorry?
Oh, they're sorry?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I feel bad, Shane.
Yeah, I mean, it was
let them go.
It was a mistake. You know, that's why pencils have erasers.
See, I feel like they're not sorry. They're just like, we did some stuff wrong and we changed our own rules so we won't do anything wrong again. But we don't know that they've changed the rules to... now they've changed the rules to permit them to act the way they did. You know, they've just legalized their actions probably.
And I love this rationalization that you get from the left where they'll say, okay, like, we were vehemently wrong about this every step of the way. And we did try to ruin people's lives and we did misinform the American people. But like, we didn't mean to.
Pandemic
amnesty.
And
we saw, yeah, exactly. We saw it during the pandemic. We saw it during Russiagate. We see this with the left all of the time. It's like, okay, well, if you're wrong about everything all the time, I kind of don't care if you were lying or not. Yeah. I know that I can't trust you ever.
They're just sorry you figured it out. They're not sorry they did it.
Exactly. And this is how it works. You never admit you're wrong. You move on to the next scam. That's how scammers work, right? A scammer doesn't go like, okay, so like... wasn't really a Nigerian prince, but I am trying to call you about your car's extended warranty.
So should we...
They just move from the Nigerian prince thing to your car's extended warranty without ever talking to you about the first thing or admitting that they were wrong. Yeah.
It's like, you're not a Nigerian prince, click.
Yeah.
Your phone rings again. I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Really?
It's like, oh, well.
I feel like we should just start our stopwatches and see what big revelation is going to come out to distract us from this. Because that's, I feel like, how you can tell time in America.
Well, more importantly, I wonder what the next big election interference is going to be in 2024.
Well,
what lie will they push next?
Well, and this is what's so wild, right? So over 10% of Biden voters, according to surveys, not only did not know that the Hunter Biden laptop story was a thing because of how suppressed it was. They said if they had known about it, they would not have voted for Joe Biden. Okay, the idea that 10% of Biden voters surveyed, if that really does apply to the rest of the voting population, would not have swayed the election.
What's your source?
Washington Examiner. There was a poll that they published right after the election.
I just want to make sure we have the number correct.
Yeah. I actually think it might have been more than 10%. So I can pull this up.
I remember Rasmussen had one that was like 6 or 7%.
Okay.
Either way, it's substantial.
Either way, it's a substantial amount. It's enough people to theoretically swing the election, depending on where they're centered or where they're based. Now,
That's evil.
That is evil. That is clear corporate interference in American elections. And I would say that that's actually more heinous than non-government actors in Russia spending $46,000 on Facebook ads, not all of which were from one single partisan perspective. On top of that, we had actual elected leaders referring to that as an act of war, an act of war. So what do we call it when American corporations do the exact same thing on a much larger scale, which there's actually good polling data to indicate did sway the election?
Well, and they're doing it on a much larger multi-hundred million dollar, almost $1 billion scale when it comes to groups like the Center for Tech and Civic Life, getting money from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. When you talk about the lie that they're going to peddle, I think universal mail-in voting, I'm sure there'll be some sort of public health emergency that necessitates rolling that up, but it's interesting.